Love, peace, and light, family. This is Christina Ariel here. I know it's been a long time, but I was inspired to make this video today. I have time on my hands, so we're going to get this done. I would like to ask that you share, like, and subscribe to this channel. And if you feel so moved to. Now, today's subject will be calculated battlefield or battlegrounds. Now, what this is going to hit on today is I'm trying to explain something that a lot of us go through on a daily basis, whether you identify yourself as a starseed, light worker, I don't know, child of the cosmos, positive person, whatever you identify as. Me these days, I simply identify as someone trying to be positive. I try to be positive. I try to be on the side of the light. But it gets very complicated at times. Now, what I'm going to go over is those of us who work for Source, or the Source or Prime Source, being the creator of all living things. Whatever that creator's name is, we'll just call it Source. I believe Source is an energy. It resides and lives in all things. And that's just my thoughts on that. Not that anyone asked, but that's just how I feel. Now, for those of you who can relate, you'll probably, this may resonate with you. There are those of us who have been wide open when it comes to the clairs since day one, since the day we were born. We were built that way. That's just how we came. What the explanation is it for? The explanation as to why, that's an individual thing. So most of us know why our clairs were wide open and ready, willing, and able to be accessed. Most of us have experienced as children being able to communicate from beyond the vision of sight or the 3D. So we talk, walk, speak, smell, listen, whatever possible sense that you can use, and there's a multitude of senses that we have at our disposal to pull from. Okay? Now, understand, if you are saying that you are positive, then there indeed must be a negative, right? If you are light, there indeed must be, if you are a light worker, there must be a dark worker. Okay? This is just how I make sense of things. It's much more complicated than this, but for the sake of the video, I'm trying to explain something or have you understand something maybe a little bit more clearly is my goal. Now, we have our paths or journeys that we have been sent to go on, okay? So while we go through our life, living our life in the 3D, we're indeed embarking on a journey, all of us, each one of us. Now, understand that some have souls and some do not, okay? Not all karmics are going to be like the karmics I may talk about in this video. Okay? There are various different degrees of karmics, and there's very different degrees of divine or those of divinity. Okay? So, meaning, for sake of explaining to a human mind, there are levels to this thing. Okay? So, you may have a light worker that's on a lower tier level where they're just able to come in, live their life, and it's not, hopefully I don't confuse this, but meaning they're meant in this lifetime to just live their life and experience certain things. We all have a contract that we signed before we came here. Okay? Now, some of us awaken more and more as our story unfolds. We awaken more and more to our journey and our past journeys. Now, the way we get to certain levels, depending on why we're here, is to cleanse ourselves. We cleanse ourselves by healing those deep-seated wounds. These things can happen from this incarnation or this go round, the present day or time, quote unquote, or it can happen from lifetimes prior to this lifetime. Okay? Now, the way it's been my experience, I'll say it like that. It's been my experience that as you heal the aches and the pain, so to speak, be they emotional, mental, like physical, spiritual, whatever ailments we have, as we go through and we heal those things, you awaken more and more to your life. Now, some of us have access to our Akashic records, but you have to get to a level where you have unlocked that part of yourself. Okay? We come with everything we need. It's just coming back to the remembrance of that fact. And as we heal, we unlock different portions or parts of ourselves. Okay? So, for me, I can only speak on my own experience or those things I have gone through or seen or heard about from someone close to me. Now, for me, I love knowledge. I love to acquire knowledge to help myself, hopefully, dive more into myself, into open parts of me that I need to know. Now, there are people, or there are, like I said, there are there are many different variations of beings. I don't want to pigeonhole you into a number or anything, okay? Because I don't know all the numbers, because I have not experienced all the numbers, because that may not be something that will need to happen within my lifetime. However, anywho, okay, so in this lifetime, it seems I had several things to conquer, but apparently in this go around, it's to become more knowledgeable of what's out there and how to avert or avoid things. Now, in my travels or in my journey of late, well, I'll say the last 2 years, I had met people. Now, for me, I'm a creature I used to be, I'll say, a creature of habit. So for me growing up in the family that I grew up in, I was taught to kind of stay within the family. Now, a family of mystics are a very private type of family. So, a family that deals with the clairs, let's say, and spiritual realm and the working of the spiritual realm. And as far as I know, my family members that I had access to or that had access to me were of the light. Okay. So, that being said, it was a little odd because one of my family members, which would have been my Big Ma, as I called her, and she's very southern. She's from Louisiana, so that's what you call your Mima or your father's mother or your mother's mother. You would call them Big Ma or Big Mama, okay? So growing up, she did energy work, or she, what most today would call Reiki. So she had a big box of crystals that I used to be enamored with, and she would show me how to place those on the body to heal the body of the pains and aches. So had tutelage at a very young age of these things, but I didn't know what they were called. It was just something in my mind wheel that my family did. It wasn't necessarily evil, wasn't necessarily good, you understand. It just was. So now I had access to these people and their gifts, and these things fascinated me because I liked being around these things. I wasn't afraid of these things, but apparently mystics that dealt with these types of things had to protect themselves, and the best way they knew to protect themselves would be in secrecy. So things were kept within the family, so to speak. That being said, it used to perplex me because my granny also believed in church. So every Sunday, we go to church, go to Baptist church, and have church service. And of course, the preacher after church service would come over our home to our house and have Sunday dinner with us. Now, my grandfather didn't like this much. That was not his favorite part of a Sunday because he just was the opposite way when it came to church, air quote. Okay? So he didn't believe in church. And I don't want to say my grandmother, how to say this, she had certain beliefs. So I would think, or as I'm thinking about it, most indigenous people had this, I don't even know how to call it, a love-hate situation or more of a hoodoo situation. For those of you who know what I'm saying. So as I grew up, I was taught, the balance between good and evil. And I say the balance because there is indeed a balance, okay? Because at any given moment of time, we can all play villains or heroes in anybody's story. It just depends on the person and the day and time that these stories were enacted. Now you get a little less or more villainy as you grow and magnetize toward one type of energy or another. But ideally and honestly, most people teeter between the two. Okay? Now, it becomes a thing of when you become aware of who you are and what you want in your intentions, where you gear your travel more towards something of a certain kind. So it's honestly just somewhat of a preference. I don't know how to say this because it's a little different for me, because I had access to um, different tutelage and awareness of counsel before I knew what the counsel was called. So when we go through lifetimes, especially if we're the so called curse breaker of a family or bloodline, we have a little bit more awareness of how we're moving and how we're going. Because if you are the curse breaker for a bloodline or for your family, or to correct a mistake that was made by someone in the family, and sometimes possibly you in another lifetime or timeline. I hope this doesn't get too complicated for y'all, but you are here to get certain things done. So a lot of us have a beeline mentality. I'm here to do a thing and get this thing done. I really don't care about what goes on outside of me. However, you're supposed to also experience the timeline in a present type of mindset. Okay? So, the last 2 years, I met someone via Facebook. Now, I don't, like I said, I'm a creature of almost habit, or I used to be. I had a game plan in effect, so I was focused on the game plan and acquiring something and doing something. Now I'm closer to that thing. I'm not at that thing per se, but I'm closer to a thing. However, along the way, there are lessons and things we must learn in order to burn off karmic debt. Okay? Some of you will know what I'm talking about, some of you won't. Now, understand that things happen for you, not to you. So, as we go on our journey and we are in proximity to other people, understand those people have their own little journey going on, right? They got their own little dialogue between them and source, right? So who knows? They're praying for this, that, or the third. Well, when you are a being of light, you can be used as a catalyst. You can be used as, think of a catalyst as an energy changer, or someone who comes in to reroute a person's way of being or acting, or even perception or awareness. Okay? Think of it like that. And sometimes the catalyst just has to be in proximity of a space or time, like at a location or coordinates or ley line, if you will. It's kind of like, I don't know, if you know anything about Florida, you'll know if you know anything about time travel, or let's keep it at time travel, you'll understand that there are different ley lines, and those ley lines work in a certain kind of way. And they're not just energy hubs or power hubs, but sometimes they need to be altered in effect. So certain people have the ability to be keys or portals to change energy in time. Okay. So, anywho, so the last 2 years I met someone, and that person gave me access to, I was looking to start diversifying my portfolio, so to speak. So I was looking to make money in a legal way to assure my lineage or legacy. Okay. So I was building a financial hub, if you will, for myself and my family. So that's where my mindset was. So I thought, well, okay, I'll get to know this person a little bit better and understand how they move, because I move slow. When it comes to relationships and getting all tied up and tangled up and mingled up with people, I move very slow because I'm aware that people have different agendas, as my grandfather would say. Be aware of people's agenda before it becomes a problem. So people meet and greet you, but people meet and greet you coming with agendas. You can say they don't. Everybody has agendas, even yourself. So let's just get that out of the way. So knowing that fact, I'm always aware of who's around me, even when I look like I'm not aware. Trust me, I'm very aware. So in meeting this person, they introduced me to some people. Now, the energy was stifling as fuck. And I couldn't understand. I thought, okay, well, maybe it's me. Let me just calm down and readjust and try to get along with these people. But I realized this energy is just not going to work with what I got going on. It's not the energy for me. Basically, it was a coven or nest of karmics. Now, like I said, there are very different degrees or levels of karmics, okay? They're different type of, they all move in different types of energy. Some move in lower, like deeply low and disgusting energy, which is almost stifling or stingy. It smells like, for those of you who know, you know what I'm talking about. It's almost touchable. It's almost physical. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be aware on several different levels to be aware of these things. Understand entities that have sold their soul, meaning they have no soul, soul is gone. They got rid of that bitch long time ago for a Klondike bar, couple $1,000, and maybe some bubblicious bubble gum. Who knows? Different degrees and levels. Now, at first, several of those karmics exhibited, of which usually happens depending on the degree or the level of karmic, exhibited drug addictions. For those of you who work in healthcare, you know what the telltale signs of drug addictions are. I won't sit here and go over it. If y'all want to know, school yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So they exhibited telltale signs. So I was already like, the fuck have I gotten myself into? Because we all know, just because you put a Versace dress on a pig, that don't mean that pig is a socialite of the upper crust. People can fake any damn thing they want to, and some beings get really, really, really good at it because there's so much underbelly crap that they're going through, they live a subculture. And when I say subculture, it means it's so secretive they don't want nobody to know they do it, because if they let you know that's what they are and that's what they do, you wouldn't go near that. Come on now. We got to use our brains. We got to understand. People hide and pretend just like Hollywood in everyday life, okay? So they put on these airs, especially here where I live in Georgia. Oh boy, ATL got some issues going on, because wherever you have a place where there's the ability to make large amounts of money, you gonna have the most ratchetest karmics available to life, and you will feel that energy like ick. What is that icky shit? Like, why am I tired? Why am I drained? Because half of them are energy stealers, or what y'all call energy vampires, okay? Now, and I don't have nothing against beings until they're trying to siphon my energy. Then I got a big problem with you. You understand? And when you start trying to do magic on me on the sly slick as though I'm stupid and I don't know. You understand? The particular group that I had access to, or that I unknowingly allowed access briefly into my life, were just, oh my gosh, slippery, slimy. And they gave themselves up. So sometimes all you have to do is listen to the conversations and what goes on, and then that will allow you to know how to move. You never have to say a word. You don't have to let them know that you know that who they are. And in fact, I would say keep quiet about it. Because the more you let them know, the more they act out. And they're so ridiculous. They don't take the 1-2 time they do magic on you, it don't work. They don't take that as, well, maybe I shouldn't fuck with this person. They take it as, I need to run and go get me 5 more of me to equal up to one of them so I can get them. Like, what? Like, okay, do you. But don't cry when it doesn't work out for your favor. Okay? So they just keep throwing magic at you, throwing death spells at you, throwing this at you. Will this work? Maybe this will work. Maybe it'll work like this. Maybe I need to do it 10 more times. They don't get it. They're not the brightest. If you're on drugs, how bright are you? Do you understand? So, this might be a 2-parter. So they don't get like enough is enough. Maybe pull back. Maybe leave it alone. Maybe this ain't what you want. They don't get that. They take it as go harder, stronger, longer, because they're lazy. So for them, it's easier to do magic to get what they want. You understand what I'm saying? That makes sense to you or me, but it makes perfect sense to them. Now, of course, it's up to us to pick up the signs, right? Use your discernment. You're a sovereign being. You have a right to move as you see fit. They don't have the right to put things onto you. They have this weird God complex, like they have the right to control your life and put what they want to put into your life. Now, understand when you're working with an industry such as insurance, or you're doing certain things, it's going to require those people's information, certain information. These people like that kind of shit, because now they can run your birth charts against your will, which is, by the way, breaking spiritual laws of all kinds. If you have not asked for a read, they are not supposed to delve into your birth chart and records. Okay? So that's first law broken. Okay? And then lying about their intentions and what they're coming into your life for, That's a law that's broken. Okay? So unless you are aware and actively protecting yourself, you won't see that stuff coming unless you're in that realm, that will realm. You understand? So these people that participate in these things, they don't just get karma, they get a wheel of karma. For those of you who know exactly what I'm talking about. Be proactive in your journey in research, okay? So they get years of karma. That's why they seek out others who they can see your energy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So light workers aren't the only ones who work in energy. These darklings do it too, okay? But they do it for different reasons. Light workers and certain people of the positive nature, they work their own energies. They worry about themselves, their own business. You understand what I'm saying? They mind theirs. Like most people don't understand mind yourn. Mind your own damn business. You understand? Keeps you out of trouble. These people try to suck off other people's tit, so to speak. So they try to, if they read your charts and they have a reading done on you, they try to suckle off your success. They try to suckle your energy, okay? Because they can't create on their own. Now, they do this in many different ways, but their favorite way is through magic. Because if you are not aware, that shit will hit you and take you out or take you down, depending on who you are or meant to be. Okay? So I say make a beeline for your north node. Now, that's not the only thing you should worry about, because you should know yourself inside and out, but you should use reputable people. And there are certain people out here, if you just open your friggin' eyes, you'll see who they are. And there's people out here who aren't there for your greater good. Do you understand me? Because remember, I said there is always an opposite. So just like you have good readers, you have horrible, wicked readers. But you better pay attention to that energy. That's how we should be guided. The book says, stay in the spirit or move in the spirit. It says that for a reason. Because if you stay or move in the spirit, you're going to see these energies. Okay? You're going to see them a mile away, feel them a mile away, smell them a mile away. Literally, smell them a mile away, feel them a mile away. You understand? And some of them, your being, depending on where your light is just not going to be in be tolerant of their energy. You just gonna ignore them because you just gonna be like, oh, I'm over you already. I don't even need to know your story. I can just feel your shit. You understand? So they cloak themselves in other people's energy. They have to in order to get close enough to people. But understand, your light is going to irritate the hell out of their demons. That's just what it is. It's going to irritate them so much to the point that they can't deal with you. They don't want to deal with you. They want you away because depending on your energy, some of our energy puts, like, if you're an empath of any kind, your energy is going to bring shit to the light. It's almost like Moldavite. It's going to pull that shit up out of them. And them demons in them are going to act a fool, a monkey fool. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. The life you save may be your own. Real talk. Like, don't let these people play in your face. And don't be afraid of them. Learn how to move. What does Hov say? I I do like something about one of his songs say something like teach I'll teach you how to move in a room full of vultures or something like that. This is that. Learning to move and swim in seas that are infested with sharks and things that want to eat you, or vultures that want to pick you clean. Literally. Understand that. So some of us see these mofos. We see it on them. Especially if that mask slips. We gonna see you. So when you try to get away, they're like, oh no, we done seen your chart. So we still gonna work our magic. Baby, be on your P's and Q's out here in these streets. These spiritual streets ain't no joke. And they tell on themselves. So pay attention. Listen and hear everything. Don't believe everything, but listen and hear everything. Because what people like this forget while they're trying to retrieve your info, star seeds, sun seeds, child of the light, beloved, you better be getting your own data. Love, peace, and light. Namaste.